iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open. We know that preseason ended last night. I'm going to take a look at the box scores. I'll see if I can find anything to help you out. I don't see a lot. Remember that the guys don't really want to play that much because they could certainly get injured. The Giants against the Patriots. Jarrett Stidham is absolutely a guy that they're looking at as the quarterback of the future there. If I'm in a dynasty league, I still think Tom Brady's going to play for the next 3 to 5 years, but I guess you could stash him if you wanted. Demaryius Thomas had a real good night, and it showed a little life there. Maybe he sticks around as a fifth receiver. It's kind of a mess there, so let's watch that closely. I think he did enough last night to earn himself a job, but he's not earning himself a chance to be on my team. Paul Perkins is probably going to be the number 3 running back for the Giants. Wayne Gallman is going to be number 2. Kyle Lauletta, though, I think should be the number 3 quarterback for the Giants. But see what you hear me saying? A lot of threes. You know, nothing spectacular that we need to worry about. Indianapolis against Cincinnati. Now, I may have said it before on the radio. I'm going to say it now. Chad Kelly is legit. Now, his problem with the Colts is that he is a train wreck off the field. A train wreck. But he's a good football player. I watched him play in Mississippi. He's not a bad football player. He's just I don't want to say a bad person. I don't know him, but he doesn't make great life decisions off the field. How about that? I think if Brissett struggles, Kelly plays. Right? Don't worry about Brock Osweiler. Don't worry about Philip Walker. The only reason they're entertaining any of these guys is because Kelly's going to miss a couple of games because he was a bad boy. Right? But when Kelly comes back, he's legit. It was good to see Paris Campbell get on the field. I think everybody can agree with that. I don't know how draftable he is, but he's certainly a player that is on my radar. There's nothing I really want to see here with Cincinnati. None of the guys I'm watching really played, so I'm going to move past them. Buffalo against Minnesota. Tyree Jackson's interesting. I mean, he's got a little bit of, he's a very, 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 very poor man's Lamar Jackson. He can run, though. He can run. He can throw a little bit. I think he sticks there behind Josh Allen. And if Josh Allen should get hurt, I think Tyree Jackson's slightly interesting to me. The rest of that, I don't really see anybody there who grabs my attention. For Minnesota, I do like Mike Boone a little bit. I think that he might be able to stay as the third running back, and if Dalvin Cook gets hurt, which we know can happen, he certainly will get time. Laquan Treadwell just stinks. If you have him in any dynasty league, feel free to give him the boot. All right, the Eagles against the Jets. Did people actually pay for that game? 6-0. Oh, that's bad. Josh Adams, 2 carries, -1 yards. Oof. Elijah McGuire, Trenton Cannon, both fighting for a spot there. I think Cannon gets the spot, but Elijah McGuire is interesting. Why can't he end up in Houston? That'd be a good spot for him, wouldn't it be? So I think McGuire is serviceable. I just don't know if he fits on the Jets. Maybe he does as the third guy, but we know Ty Montgomery's in number 2. For Philadelphia, they didn't play anybody worth anything because nobody wants to get hurt, and they've had enough of their injuries over the course of the preseason, so that was done. All right, Atlanta against Jacksonville. Raquel Armstead, had 6 carries for 40 yards. I think that he is putting himself in a picture where he is legitimately the backup to Leonard Fournette, and I like him. And if I draft Leonard Fournette, I'm looking for Raquel Armstead in the league. And if I don't have Fournette, I'm still looking for Raquel Armstead because in high stakes, I will take a backup. And if Fournette can't get his act together, Raquel Armstead is absolutely somebody who you can look at. I did like to see Quadri Allison had 51 yards. I like him. I think he sticks. I'm not a big Brian Hill guy personally, but we'll see what happens. All right, Carolina against the Steelers. Mason Rudolph, I think, is the guy. I don't think Josh Dobbs is. And I'm going to think if Ben Roethlisberger's out, Mason Rudolph is the guy. But Benny Snell, man, he has shown nothing to me this preseason. So just not buying into it. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't play anybody with anything. Eli Rogers, Ryan Switzer, there's a role for them, but not anybody we're drafting. For Carolina, Will Grier, it was good to see him out there. He likes to fling the football. He needs some time, though. I like Will Grier. God forbid anything should happen to Cam Newton. He's interesting to me. Jordan Scarlett got 11 carries. He got 3 receptions. Let's watch to see who becomes the number 2. Is it Reggie Bonifant, like my friend Big Phil thinks? It's possible. Let's keep our eyes peeled on that, because I think if McCaffrey should ever go down, they got to figure it out. Washington, Dwayne Haskins, once again, please just don't pick this guy. It's not that he's not a good player, it's just that the offensive line is terrible. I don't want anybody on the Redskins. I really don't want anybody on the Redskins, and I don't want you to have anybody on the Redskins. I'll give you a name to file away, though. Trace McSorley. Should something happen to Lamar Jackson, Trace McSorley's a winner. I also think that Kenneth Dixon will either stick on this team, or he's a guy that I'd like to see go to the Texans. I think Kenneth Dixon, if he went to the Texans, I'm in. I really am. I'm in. I think he's a very good player. I've always liked him. So I'm rooting for him to get a job somewhere because it probably will not be in Baltimore with Justice Hill and Mark Ingram. All right, Cleveland against Detroit. For Detroit, there's nothing here that I'm seeing. Josh Johnson may stick as a late quarterback. I don't know. There's nothing really here. Cleveland, Dontrell Hilliard is good. Let's just say this. Dontrell Hilliard is good. And I've seen him go in drafts recently. Good job, people. Dontrell Hilliard, until Kareem Hunt comes back, is absolutely a threat. 12 carries, 65 yards, 2 catches, 13 yards, and a touchdown. I like him. I do. And I think that he's a very, very clever pick if people want to get him, certainly like around 18, 19 in drafts. I have no problem with that. Green Bay against Kansas City. Carlos Hyde, I don't think he makes this team. I really don't. And I don't see anybody out there who played yesterday who's worth anything for anybody on Kansas City. And we want to load up on Chiefs, but not anybody who played yesterday. For Green Bay, I think it was interesting to see Dexter Williams out there and Trot Carson, because these guys who are competing. I think Williams gets the job. I think he's the 3, and he could move into the 2, because I don't think very much of Jamal Williams. I never have, and I certainly don't now. All right, the Rams against the Texans. When you see Joe Webb out there, you know that Joe Webb is, nothing more than a backup, and this game is meaningless. Demaria Crockett, can he stick? Let's see. I mean, can he be a first and second down guy? I don't know. I know Bill Enright likes him, but I'm still not sure. Karan Higdon, I think he might have the better shot, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on this situation. Something's got to happen. Something's got to give. Some guy is going to get signed here. All right, for LA, if you have John Kelly, I think John Kelly's done. I mean, 4 carries, 1 yard. I don't know. I was never a John Kelly fan. I know a lot of people were. I think you've got Henderson, you've got Malcolm Brown, you got Gurley. I don't think you need John Kelly. All right, Tennessee against Chicago. Tennessee not playing any guys who are, they shouldn't be playing. There is nothing you want to see here. I'm very concerned about this offense. I really am. So as little as you have on Tennessee, the better. For Chicago, Tyler Bray threw it 40 times. Nagy's flinging it out there. Good for him. There is nobody. Taquan Mizzell, as you know, has played in the past, but Josh Caldwell's played in the past. I don't really like any of these guys, to be quite honest with you. I don't think anybody sticks there and is fantasy relevant. Tampa Bay beats the Dallas Cowboys. You think that's going to happen in real life, but Jerry Jones is scaring the crap out of me. Now talking about Zeke missing games. Just sign this guy. For the love of God, just sign him. Mike Weber is a guy who can stick, right? He's a name that we haven't been seeing in a while. I know we see Tony Pollard, but Mike Weber's interesting. You're in a deep dynasty league. You need to do a deep dive. Take a look at him, okay? I have been waiting for Tampa to give Bruce Anderson an opportunity. 20 carries, 70 yards, a touchdown. I'd love to see him stick. I think this guy is legit. I do. I've drafted him in some dynasty leagues. I just don't know if he's going to get an opportunity. What I think Bruce Arians did here was he gave him an opportunity last night, so maybe he can get signed elsewhere, or maybe he sticks on the practice squad. I don't hate Bruce Anderson, but Is there a spot for Bruce Anderson? I don't know. All right, for New Orleans, one of the reasons New Orleans against Miami won that game. How's that going to happen in real life? Taysom Hill, he scares me, guys. He scares me with Drew Brees. Drew Brees going again in round 12-13 last night. Just don't let it happen because Taysom Hill's there. Divino Zigbo, I've always liked as well. He had 4 carries for 22 yards. Will he be on the practice team? Will he make the team? I'm keeping my eyes peeled to him. I do like him. For Miami, I don't know if you guys have been reading. So there's a report that the Texans want Laramie Tunsil, and then there was another report that basically said if Tunsil gets traded, the Dolphin players are going to revolt. So they got to be very careful here. I mean, because the Dolphins want a tank for Tua, but they got to change that culture. Anybody who even says that to me scares me. Really does. So Miami could be a wreck before the season even starts. All right, Arizona against Denver. Kevin Hogan, I think he's going to be the backup if Drew Lock is injured. We've talked about him in the past. He's okay. There was nothing else there yesterday that really thrilled me for Denver. Denver just doesn't thrill me as an offense. And Arizona, Keyshawn Johnson, he's a guy that actually is moving up draft boards, especially my friend Frankie likes him. So keep your eyes peeled on him. I don't like anybody else who played in that game. I do like Andy Isabella. I take that back. I do like Andy Isabella. I want to see him play as little as possible in the beginning part of the season because I think he could have a good spot in the end of the season, right? Week 1, if Isabella has a good week, boom, all the free fab money is going to go. I want him to roll out slowly. Maybe the first week he's 2 for 13, the next week he's 3 for 40, and then I can buy him at a discount because I like Andy Isabella. All right, the Chargers against the 49ers. Cardell Jones, I don't know. There's just nothing here for the Chargers just need to get through preseason without an injury. They really do. But Jeff Wilson, do we forget about Jeff Wilson? He's deep in that depth chart there. And, with all the injuries to McKinnon, why can't Jeff Wilson stay around? 20 carries, 100 yards. I like him. I've always liked him. Keep our eyes on Deebo Samuel. He may have to play early on in the season because of all the injuries they have. And then finally, Oakland against Seattle, Nathan Peterman and Mike Glennon battling to see who's going to play. Keelan Doss getting 6 receptions. Marcel Aitman getting receptions. Do you want any of these guys? Please tell me you don't. Geno Smith, 4 for 7, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. I guess he's edging out Paxton Lynch. CJ Prosise getting some carries. I think he sticks around as the third running back there for the Seahawks. And, look, you always want to part of the Seahawks running game. Seahawks running game is what they do. That's what they do. And Prosise could be the third guy there. So that makes him somewhat interesting to me. All right, other things I want to talk about. Julian Edelman's thumb was fine. Okay, fine. So if you were concerned about that, he's going to be ready to go week 1. That's good news. The Dolphins named Ryan Fitzpatrick their starter. I mean, anybody who thought that Josh Rosen was going to be the starter was insane. I mentioned this. Jerry Jones expects Zeke to miss games. Why can't they just get this guy signed? But I guess Jerry's like, look, we can beat the Giants. We can beat the Redskins. We can beat these teams without Zeke, and we'll save Zeke for later. I guess that's what he's thinking, but I want Zeke. And look, in the last 2 World Championship drafts, Zeke has gone and picked 10 and picked 12, right? But high-stakes players don't want him. But remember, this happened before. This has happened before. And if you take a chance on Zeke, it may pay off big time because when he does come back, he will come back in the playoffs and the fantasy playoffs, and you might just win because of him. All right. Time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friend. So let me talk about a few things going on. There's a Beat Dr. Roto draft tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. Play ffwc.com. I want you guys to sign up. I think we've got like 5 or 6 spots left. Please sign up. And then if I can, I will do a review of the draft on Monday along with some news and notes, okay? Go to si.com/fantasy, and you can see my tiers rankings if you're drafting this weekend. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, they will be there for you, okay? I want you guys to use those tiers. I love my tiered rankings, okay? I want you to go to fulltimefantasy.com, enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. All right, let us help you get to a fantasy championship. And anybody who's in the threat of the hurricane like we are, please be safe, please be smart, and just do what you have to do to be back and ready to go for football next week. All right, guys, this is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full-time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.